Oh. Hey, I don't know what was happening on my end, but for some reason I was having trouble logging into Zoom today. Go figure, huh? All right, let's see. Let's get into Nearpod.
Hello.
Oh, all right. So I'm gonna try and get this. I'm gonna give you the Nearpod link for today. I don't know that we'll have a ton of people today because a lot of people have already done their DBA. And if you've already done your DBA, you actually don't need to be in the live lesson today because that's all we're doing is we're going over that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but if you haven't done your DBA, definitely stick around. Oh. Angelina, you did yours, yeah. Max, you haven't done yours, so please stay. Michelle, you did yours. You don't have to stay unless you want to. All right, well, we've got 5 more minutes to see if people log in. Max, it looks like it's just you. Please stick around. Hopefully we get a few more people that haven't done their DBA yet. And have you made go ahead and unmute and put on your camera. Have you made an appointment for your DBA at all? Oh, I can barely hear you. Can you turn up your volume?
I don't think I have.
Okay, so today, let me take a quick peek here. I won't have time this afternoon because I've got to do in-service. That's all the teachers have things. It's considered early release. So you will have to make an appointment for next week. Monday's a holiday. And Tuesday, I'm going to be out most of the day. There's a few appointments early Tuesday. I'll squeeze you fast. I could get you in here at 8:15 in the morning on Tuesday. Would you like that?
I don't know. I usually do my DBs like around 10ish or like in the afternoon.
Yeah, well, then you'll have to pick Wednesday because Tuesday I'm going to be out. So.
Yeah, okay.
Right. All right. So let's see here. Just waiting for people to sign in. If it's just us, that's okay. Did you come to the live lesson last week, Max?
think I did.
We did some of the same things last week. And we'll be doing pretty much a little repeat of some of those. Okay, so are you logged into Nearpod?
Mhm.
Good. Okay, we've got about 2 more minutes until we start. You'd think we'd have somebody else. All right, Julian, we are reviewing for the DBA. If you want to stick around, you can, but you already did your DBA. Mason, you still need to do your DBA, so stick around here, please. Mason, can you go ahead and put your camera on? Okay, time to get a new camera then. I'm sure you've been asked to have that on for other live lessons. All right, it's 10 o'clock. I'm gonna send the link one more time for Nearpod. We all logged into Nearpod. I've got 2 people logged in. I've got okay, so Max, you're logged in, and Joint Mason, you need to log in to Nearpod. The link again. All right, so we're gonna go over the module pre-DBA. And as you know, for Spanish, the DBA in my class is in the middle of the module. I have had a few people, not too many, I've had a few people ask me what was the password for the module exam. But after this DBA, there's like 5 more things to do before you get to the module exam. So just keep that in mind that this is the middle. All right, let's so our objectives for the DBA, of course, is a conversation with you and I, and we're going over likes and dislikes. We're gonna be talking about what your wants and preferences in food and drinks, mealtime customs, the prepare foods maybe in Spanish-speaking countries. Kind of conversation might happen in restaurants, and compare restaurant practices and customs. Some kinds of things for the state standards. All right, so if you're not at Horizon, something is really wrong with your camera. It's like, yeah, it's like having being in a disco. That's how bad it is. Okay. All right. So we are now when you have a DBA, you want to go to my announcement page, and underneath the week that's due, or the work that's due for the week, you've got this DBA review material, and it's a link. So you just click on it. And when you click on it, you get the review, which is a PowerPoint, and you want the 306 DBA review. And these are the things we're talking about. Borrowed words comes from lesson 301. Gustar and encantar, that's also from lesson 301. And steps for writing a question in Spanish, that comes from lesson 305, which we went over last week. And asking a question using preferir, again, that was in lesson 305. The placement of table setting items with vocabulary, that's from lesson 304. We learned to the left of, to the top of, those are the phrases we learned lesson. Mealtime practices in Spanish speaking countries, that's also in the. Welcome, welcome. I'm gonna get the Nearpod link again. Oh, let me go back here. When you're in the DBA review materials, now this is very blurry, but it says HIPAA review sheet. And when you click on it, it opens up the review sheet. And I've only copied some of this. I just wanted to show some of the things. This particular review sheet is a little wacky, but they have some examples of borrowed words. We've got la salsa, jalapeno, nacho, cafeteria, taco, burrito, guacamole, la enchilada, la tortilla. Remember, borrowed words are borrowed from the language of one country, but used, basically adopted and used, in this case, in English. We use those words all the time. We don't try to translate jalapeno into another word, do we? Okay, so we borrow those words. These are, food words. You can't go wrong with food words. There's other things like plaza, that's a borrowed word. Cafeteria is another one. Okay. Encantar and gustar. On here on the review sheet tells you, what these mean. My house, right? And then we've got some other phrases. We've got, de plus el es del, a plus el es o. But this is just part of the page on the HIPAA review sheet. Okay, I'm going to give you all the link again for Nearpod. If you've already done your DBA, you do not have to stay. If you have not done your DBA, please stick around. Location phrases. I believe I said this was lesson 304. And we learned a la izquierda de, to the left of, encima de, on top of, and a la derecha de, the right of. One thing about location that some of you get confused on is we have to use the verb estar for location. Estar is temporary, and so we assume that location is temporary. If the car is in front of the house, that's hopefully temporary. That car might get moved, might drive away. All right. So same kind of thing with table settings. You set your table up real nice before people come to the table, and then things are going to get moved around while people are eating, right? Okay, so the same kind of thing, but we use the verb estar for location. We don't use the verb ser. So we've got el plato con la tostada está encima del mantel. So the plate with the toast is on top of the tablecloth. Mantel is tablecloth. What, you guys know what the word would be for table? What's our word for table? Remember? You can put it in the chat box if you feel more comfortable. Okay, so the word for table is la mesa. Mantel is a tablecloth. That's why it's all stripy and pretty. El cuchillo está a la derecha de la cuchara y a la izquierda del tenedor. So the knife is to the right of the spoon and to the left of the fork in this situation. Okay, location. It's important to know location. It's also important to know your vocabulary. You didn't know that this was a spoon, cuchara, knife, cuchillo, fork, tenedor, well, then you would want to study that. Eating customs. We learned about a lot of these, more than just these two countries, but like in Chile, for example, if you're, you can only use your utensils to eat, no eating with your fingers. Touching the food on your plate with your hands is considered rude. So like, for example, if you're eating something and you know how, like, let's say you got a plate full of peas, okay? And you want to scoop your peas onto your spoon, you would use a knife or a fork to scoop them on. You would not use your fingers, that sort of thing, okay? Most Spanish-speaking countries, they say salud when making a toast. Salud for the toast. That means help. In Mexico, you can use your hands to eat. Why would that be? Does anybody want to guess why it would be okay to use your hands to eat in Mexico? Yes, Julian? You can unmute.
Because you have to eat like tacos.
Now, I will clarify something. Now, I lived in Chile. Some of you know that. Okay. And there are some things you can eat with your hands in Chile, which are similar. It depends on the food, but like they have something called la empanada. The empanada is a meat turnover. Basically, it's in Chile, they're very specific about what goes inside it. And it can be fried or baked. But that's usually something that you would eat with your hands. If it's a really large empanada, like some of the baked ones, you would eat that with a knife and fork on a plate. But many times you can buy things like street vendors, that sort of thing. You're going to eat with your hands. Okay, in Mexico, you've got to rest your hands and wrists on top of the table when you're not using your utensils. Same thing in Chile. And in most Spanish-speaking countries, your hands are to be on the table, not under the table. In Mexico, don't start eating without saying provecho or buen provecho. Enjoy. Okay. And also you would say it to others around you who are still eating when you get up to leave a restaurant. That would be in Mexico. In Spanish-speaking countries, we have la sobremesa. That is where people get together and they have this big family meal all together at the table, and then they stick around. When they're finished, they don't just get up and leave and go play their video games. They stick around and they talk to one another at the table. Okay. And, so it's important is, families being closer together and all that. Okay. Now let's talk about the different meal times. In most Spanish-speaking countries, you've got at least 4 meals each day. So we've got Elisa, which is the breakfast. You notice here it's just toast with butter, or it's like some sort of, I don't know, that could be butter or bananas. I can't tell. It's smashed on there, and some coffee. Okay, it's very simple. They've mentioned here the atole is a hot cinnamon vanilla beverage that comes in many flavors. This is different from coffee. They might also have hot chocolate. Okay, instead of just bread, they might have sweet bread or fruit. El almuerzo is usually we call it lunch, but here they call it, and this is more of a Mexican tradition. Almuerzo is from 9 a.m. to noon, and it's more like a second breakfast. Okay, if you've ever watched The Hobbit, remember he goes running out the door to catch up with the dwarves, and later on down the road, his stomach is rumbling. He's like, well, when are we going to have second breakfast? And they just laugh at him because, that's not a thing for them. All right, la comida. So la comida, we've got usually between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. That is the big meal of the day. Okay, you can see there's all sorts of different foods here. Okay, you're going to have super salad, a main dish, sometimes dessert. That is the big meal, la comida. And then at night, late at night, between like 9 and 10 p.m., we have la cena, which is usually very, very light. Okay, here they've got leftovers from la comida, maybe, or bread and coffee, very light. And then you go to bed. Any questions on these meal times? I'm going to type here in the chat box. We've got el once is what they call tea time in Chile. And that would be between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. The fifth meal, where people would have basically snacks and tea or coffee, or they might have mate, which is, at least in Chile, they would, or Argentina. And that's it. Okay, so that's the end of this particular lesson. But we are going to do, and of course, there's collaboration, but we're going to do some Kahoot. You guys like Kahoot, right? Just to review, we did some Kahoot last week. We'll do a different bit of Kahoot today because we didn't get through all of them last week. Okay, so we have the collaboration. Remember that would come right after 4.10 for you. And you're going to open it up and tell me, that you came to today's live lesson. We went over 306. And then what did you enjoy most about working with other people on this, and what did you learn? That's for collaboration. Right now we're going to go to Kahoot. So I'm going to turn off Nearpod. I'm going to go to Kahoot. You should still be able to see Kahoot here in the shared screen. We're going to do this one about La Mesa. Last week we did the verb conjugations, gustar versus encantar, and borrowed words. We're going to do the in La Mesa and then see if we have time for more. I know we haven't done anything huge or long today, but it's here. Right. All right. Classic. Okay. And there are 10 of you. I'd like to see all 10 of you in here. This counts for your participation. This is your PIN number. Going over setting the table. I'd like to see you all participate in this. Only see 3 people in here. Come on, got 7 more of you. Need to log in. Okay, Anaya, Gerardson, Julian, Max, Noah, Sandusha. Okay, you're in. Xavier, oh, you're in too.
I'm trying to get in.
Who's trying? Who was that?
Me.
And who's me? Noah? Okay.
Yes.
So what happened? Did you go to Kahoot.it and then you do this link?
Yeah. It's not letting me.
All right, you know what? It's letting me do a try that link. See if that works.
I think I'm about to get in. I think I was putting in the code wrong.
Oh, okay. I've got 9 of you, and you just, I think you were the only one having trouble there. All right, now let's start. La Mesa. Yes, Esto, what is this? You're looking at the image and you're going to pick what it is. And the correct answer was La Mesa. Only 4 of you, but only 6 of you participated. You should all at least guess, even if you're not correct. It's better to guess than to not. Okay, La Silla is the correct answer. It's a chair. Yes, Esto, what is this? Better to guess than not at all. La cuchara. That's supposed to be a plate. Yeah, that's like a little while to get that score up there. Right. La casa. Whoa, no, you got that. El cuchillo. Jillian, you had a question? El vaso. Now this is a bowl, in case you're wondering. Yeah, that was el tazón. So there might be some confusion because it was not one of the vocab words that you learned in your lessons. Some of these cahoots aren't matched exactly. But you know, la taza is like your little teacup and el tazón is a bowl. El tenedor. Okay, that is a napkin, just in case you're wondering. Is la servilleta. Okay, so these are the silverware. What do we call the silverware? Los cubiertos. This is a candle, so you haven't learned the word for candle, just take a guess. Process of elimination. Okay, yeah, four, you got it, la vela, that's the word for candle. So what is this? This is a vase. Or like a picture, sorry. Picture. This is another word that you had not learned, and it was la jarra. Let's see. Next. Okay, you know this one, this is tablecloth. Should all get this one, the tablecloth. El mantel. Okay, that is supposed to be a small plate where you put your teacup. I don't know why they put a whatever that is on top of it. El platillo is the small plate for your teacup. All right, one more question. Okay, so this is a wine glass. Or a goblet. It is la copa. Now, a little interesting side note. How many of you are Harry Potter fans? I am. I'm a nerd. Okay. So in the Goblet of Fire, if you were to translate that title into Spanish, would be La Copa del Fuego. Okay. That's the fourth book. All right, third place, we've got Max. Very good. Second place, Olivia. And first place is Anaya. Very good. Very good. All right, so let's get out of this one. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on a second. Oh. Sorry. Okay. So we've got regular verbs, gustar versus encantar, and borrowed words. Do you guys feel like you want to review any of these? I mean, we went over the first three last week. So, you know, as far as concludes, I only want to go over stuff that you guys feel like you really want to review again. No? All right. Oh. Julian said the thing on the plate was a coffee bean. I wasn't sure about that. Okay. All right. Well, very good then. If you are good, you can log out. If you want to stay and play one of these other three games, we can do that. Any questions on anything? Hey, just have a good day. Any questions, Noah? Julian? Pedarson? Questions? All right, you guys can go ahead and log out. Noah, Isabella, Anaya, Hedarton, any questions? If not, go ahead and log
No.
out. All right, you guys can just click the exit button.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Isabella, any questions? Hedarton, any questions? All right, I'm gonna go ahead. Let me